everyone, it's Jamie and welcome back to my channel and welcome to another cross-stitching update. In this video I'm going to show you what I worked on in the last week since my last video, and I will be starting off with a piece that I have been trying to work on every day for at least 30 minutes a day. Sometimes there was a couple days that I missed, but I ended up stitching more on other days to make up for the fact that I missed days, so if you average it out, it has gotten 30 minutes a day. Anyways, that piece is Kita, which is artwork by Hannah Alexander and charted by Pinky the Pink, and I will be inserting up here or over here somewhere pictures of the finished artwork and where I was the last time you saw it. And here is Kita now. I filled in, I think I did more of the blue here, and so this shade of blue is finished. It was $7.47, and then the next color is a blend, which I love blends. Okay, I love the way blends look, but for some reason, I just don't like that you can't loop start if you do blends. You have to do like a pin stitch or something instead, which isn't terrible, but I like loop start. And then I also worked on her hand. I really wanted to get her hand finished. And then now is the little spear that she is holding. I also did the back stitching for her hand and her bracelet because they did not really look like anything without the back stitching. Like her hand without the back stitching was just like a blob of browns. There was no, you couldn't tell what anything was. So I had to do the back stitching. Yeah. I think my plan for this piece right now is I'm going to keep working on it 30 minutes a day. I'm going to leave the hoop where it is and try and finish all of the cross stitches that I can in the hoop area that it's at. And then I'm also going to do back stitching, I think, for the rest of this area that I can reach. And then I want to start back stitching it as I go because she has a lot of back stitching. And I don't want to save it all till the end because that would be torture. Because there's a lot of the back stitching and it's intense on this project. I think this has more back stitching than anything that I've ever done, which isn't saying a lot because most of what I do now is like large full coverages that don't have any back stitching, and there's a reason that I picked those charts because they don't have back stitching. Like there's some dimensions kits that I really like Woodland Enchantress is one that I've looked at forever. I've seen people stitching it and I want it so bad, but I also know that I would hate to do all like the back stitching. And I think Dimensions have it where you'll do like different amounts of threads for different colors and symbols. I don't know. It just is a lot. And so there's a reason why I stick with large full coverage. A lot of people think that large full coverage is hard just because of like the size is so big, but you're really only doing, you know, either a full cross or a tent stitch, whatever you pick, and that's it. You don't have to think about anything else. There's not any partial stitches, there's not any back stitching, there's not any stitches where you're using more strands or less strands. Like it's just simple. So anyways, that's a rant. Kita, I want to start backstitching her as I go. I'm obviously going to save the beads for last just because they would get in the way of moving the hoop around, but yeah, I really want to get her finished because I have the link chart, which I've mentioned before, from Pinky the Pink, and the new Zelda game comes out in May, and it would have been awesome to be able to start that chart in May, but I wanted to get her finished first because I don't want to have two of these charts going at once because they are a lot. So yeah, I need to get working on her. Maybe in April try and focus on her more too. I don't know, but there she is. This is being stitched on 28 count fabric that I dyed myself, 2/2 full cross, long as heck, but there she is. The next thing that I worked on, and I only worked on this for like one day, is when I went to my parents' house, I needed to bring a project and it needed to be something that's portable and like preferably a paper chart because I don't like bringing electronics with me if I'm going places. So I ended up picking Templar Prophecy by Long Dog Sampler. I worked on it the one day and then I did not feel like working on it anymore, and so I just put it away after that. So this is the progress that I made on Templar Prophecy by Long Dog Sampler. All I stitched was that little bitty unicorn. It's tiny and I did not really enjoy stitching on this at all. I think that I like samplered myself out the way that I used to finish them, where I would just like stitch a ton in like 2 months just to get them finished. So like I just over samplers, I think. I don't know. So we'll see if this ends up coming out again anytime soon. It probably won't. This is being stitched on 22 count fabric that I dyed myself using Rit dye, and I am using DMC 666 stitching 1/1 full cross. So there it is. I do love the sampler, but this middle part here is like super intimidating because it's super dense stitching. So like this moon area is just a lot. Like the page has very little negative space. It's just almost all stitched, and it's going to be a pain in the butt, which is part of why I didn't stitch on this page. So I still have part of page 2 to finish going into page 3, and that area is where like the stitching starts to get really thick, and so I was like, I will just jump over to page 5 because this area here is a lot easier to stitch on because there's not a lot going on this side. So that will be put away now for a while. And then I started to work on my March goals after that. One of my goals for March was to stitch on Stardew Winter by Glitch Stitch AU, and I wanted to get to 25% on that, and so I pulled it out, and I got to 25% this week, which was exciting, and I love it. So I think this tree is almost finished. The dog is almost finished, which is just adorable. He's so cute. And then there's some presents. I did a little bit on the house, going up here, and then got to the sky. And I love this because I just love the fact that it's so small that you can see progress very quickly. So most of my other things are so large that it takes forever to actually get like a thing finished. And so the fact that this tree is already finished and this candy cane is finished and you can actually see what things are, it's very exciting. It motivates you to stitch. Because some of my other charts, you just stitch background forever and ever and ever and ever, and so it just kind of like, you get very tired of it. You get kind of bored. And so this is a nice change. This is being stitched on 28 count, 2/1 tent stitch. And now I think this is going to be put away until I have a month written in my happy planner. So I have 2 of these charts going on right now. I have fall and the winter one started. My plan originally was I was actually going to start the other 2 charts that are in the series this year, and then I decided I don't want to do any new starts right now, so I'm just going to keep it fall and winter, and I have it written in my happy planner each month that these will come out to be worked on. So this will be coming out in I think a few more months, and then I will try and get it to 50%, and then this way it should hopefully be finished this year, but we will see. Another chart that I wanted to work on for March is I wanted to work on Heaven on Earth 2 by Charting Creations for at least 2 days this month. And I worked on it 1 day so far, so I need to work on it another day this week coming up. And then I will have met my March goal for this chart. And here it is. I decided I had wanted to work on the building, but I was like, no, you need to do the background to get some of the sky finished. And so that's what I was doing. I worked up here along in this area with the sky. I am stitching this on 28 count, 2/1 tent stitch, and I'm using DMC and CXC on this chart. So, where is it? If I can find my floss cards, I put them somewhere. I have my floss cards. These floss cards are ones that I found on AliExpress. They're just DMC floss cards. If you search on there, you should be able to find them. I ordered a pack that has like 100 of them because I use so many of them. And then, so the DMC ones don't have anything, but for if I'm using a CXC color, I just put a little C underneath so that if I run out, I can replace this color with another CXC instead of DMC. So that is what I'm doing for this one, and I really like it. I don't think there's a huge difference between DMC and CXC. The CXC is a little bit softer, and it can be a little bit fuzzier, but when you stitch it, I haven't noticed anything major. Like, you wouldn't be able to tell me, you wouldn't be able to look at this and tell me like, oh, this color right here is CXC. You don't know. I don't even know. I don't remember which color is which, so yeah. That's how I keep them separated though. There's where I got to on this, and I still need to work on it for 1 more day this month to have met my goal on this chart for this month. And also this right here is like an example of what I mean when I was talking about like how on Stardew you get to see details right away. It doesn't take that long. On Stardew I've only done like, I think all of this is like less than 5,000 stitches, and there's a lot going on. This here is 10,000 stitches, I think, and all you see is some sky and clouds. So it's like there's, you know, it takes a lot longer on large charts to get to the details. Obviously it's worth it in the end. It just makes stitching on it sometimes kind of less exciting. So then I have one other chart that I worked on, and I only worked on it for one day, and I think I want to keep it out this month and try and get a page finish on it this month so I can try and start going for some of my yearly goals. And that chart is Mini Masquerade Pale Dawn, which is charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. I am stitching this on 28 count 2/1 tent stitch, and my yearly goal on this was to finish 2 pages, so I really want to get 1 page finished this month, and then I could put it away and then pull it out towards the end of the year to try and get the other page finished. But I'm enjoying stitching this because this is a chart that only uses, I think it's like less than 20 colors, which is nice. It's a nice change from a lot of charts that use way more colors. And the chart is going to be pretty small because it's a mini, so the top row is only 3 pages across. I'm already on to page 2 here. I'm not sure how far I'm on to page 2, but I am on to page 2, so it's not going to be very big. Nice and small. And so I just want to get that 1 page finished this month, and then I can put this away. Oh, and then also the reason I'm using pink fabric is this chart, it's not stitched all the way. It doesn't have a straight stitch line for the edge. The edge is like curvy and it goes with like the flowers. And so there's going to be areas where you are going to be able to see the fabric in the border. So I wanted it to be a nice fun color, and I love pink. So that's what I did. Now my plans going into next week is I would like to continue doing my daily 30 on Kita, try and get more progress on her. I am going to stitch 1 more day on Heaven on Earth 2 by Charting Creations, and this is the regular size. I think there's also a large size, but I went with the regular because I don't need large charts. I say I don't need large charts, but there is a large chart that I want. Charting Creations just came out with a book, or not a book, but a chart that has books. So it's like, I can't remember what it's called, but it's like a window and it has books. There's like a basket that has yarn on the ground, and it has like trees outside that have purples. I love purples. It's my favorite color. I would stitch anything with purple, and I really want it. And I really want the large version so that the words are clear, because it has words in it, and I like it because it looks like the details are better in the large one. And because it's something where it has so many small things, you really need the bigger size to be able to see those details, but I don't need it. I'm avoiding it. I am resisting, and yeah. The last thing that I know that I am for sure gonna do next week is I am going to be working on my Game of Thrones chart, which I will show right now. So this is Game of Thrones. It's a limited edition chart from Tilton Crafts. It's not available anymore. And here is where I am on it right now. I started stitching it on the diagonal. I abandoned the diagonal because I wanted to see Littlefinger's face. And then last year, when House of the Dragons came out, I wanted to stitch on a Targaryen because that show was about Targaryen, so I got down to Daenerys. And then my goal for this year is to stitch, I think, 2 more diagonals, so finish this one and then do another one, and then also to finish her face. And I also decided that this chart is stitched right now 1/1 full cross, and I am going to be switching it to tent stitch. And so I mentioned before that I want to try and make a video of switching it to tent stitch just to see if there's a very big difference in how it looks. So here it is now. Hopefully there will be a Stitch With Me coming out soon of converting this one. The only area that I'm really scared about with the switching is switching in her face. So I'm not sure if I'm going to stitch her face 1/1 and finish that and then just start doing tent stitch around her, or if I will just switch and do her face tent stitch. I don't know, we'll have to see. I might test it out like up in this area first, the tent stitch, just to see if there's a big difference, and then I'll probably make a decision about her face after I do that. So, and I think that is the only things that I have planned for the week. I also might work on this chart again, Mini Masquerade Pale Dawn. My goal for this year is to finish 2 pages, so I would like to at least get 1 page finished maybe this month, try and get it finished, and that would be good because then at least I could check off part of my goal for this project. So That is everything that I have to show though. I don't think I have anything else to talk about like books or games wise because I'm still playing Professor Layton, which is from the library. I'm also still reading Needled to Death because I haven't been reading that much because I was stitching and watching shows. So that is all that I have to show for cross stitching and crafts. I have been knitting on my Sub Pop tee, but I'm still just working on the sleeve. And it's not very exciting, so I'll probably show it again once I actually finish at least one sleeve, because then there will be something to actually see. So thank you everyone for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing, and I will be back hopefully next week with more updates on whatever I end up working on. Bye!